Hello my beautiful fashionistas, welcome back to Yvonne Winifred UG. So this is the fabric we are working with today. I have my front and back pieces already cut and each is folded into two as you see, and I've already even marked some lines and I'll be explaining. So I have 1 inch zipper allowance for the back only from up to bottom, and on top here guys, from the starting point I left half an inch and then marked the starting point line. So from that starting point line I have my bust point at 10 inches, 16.5 inches waistline, and the hip line at the 24-inch mark, and the full length of this dress is 41 inches long. So right away at the top here I'm going to mark 3 inches as the neckline width, and I'm going to mark 8.5 for the shoulder, half of the shoulder measurement, and at that point I'm going to slope down by 1 inch and connect to the neckline width for a shoulder slant. Since guys the shoulder is never so straight, right away I add half an inch as the joining allowance. So coming here I'm going to mark 2 inches first for the back neck depth, and then for the back front depth I'm going to mark first 3 inches like that, and I will add about 2.5 inches still for that double cut. 2.5 inches, you can even use 3 inches, whatever you feel like is what you use. So first of all, this is going to be curved around neckline like this for both the front and the back as you see. So this will be slit up from the 3 inches going down to the 2.5 inches. It will be opened up into kind of a slit. So at this point I'm going to mark the chest line, or half of the armhole measurement, which is 8.5 inches in this case, and form the chest line there. So along this chest line guys, I'm just going to mark 1/4 of the bust measurement. That is bust measurement divided by 4. Whatever I get, I add 1 inch sewing allowance and 1 inch dart allowance. So I'm just going to bring my curved ruler, and from this 1 inch shoulder slant I'm going to just place my ruler like this and then carve out the armhole simply like that. So guys, since we are using a princess dart, I'm going to mark half of this line, which is at about 4.25 inches here, and move out by 1 inch. That 1 inch will aid us as we sew up the princess dart. If you don't add that 1 inch, the princess dart won't come out correctly. Your fabric will be shortened. So I just create that armhole curve out like that. That is the new armhole curve that we will be using. So guys, at this point I'm marking half of the bust span, which is 4 inches plus half an inch as the sewing allowances. I'm marking directly onto the fabric, and I'm marking that 4.5 inches on all these lines up to down the hemline, connecting the dart point up to down like that, and that is going to be our princess dart. So from this bust point I'm connecting to the armhole curve with the curve simply like this. You can use your ruler or your free hands, and then this part out here is a little bit pointed. It connects into the princess dart from there up to down like that. So that is what we have so far. Now I can input my other measurement. So now at this point I'm also dividing the waist measurement divided by 4. Whatever I get, I add 1 inch as the dart allowance and another 1 inch for the sewing allowance. I won't be using lining for this dress, so even at the hip line I just do the same, 1/4 of the hip measurement plus 1 inch for the dart as the dart allowance, and another 1 inch for the side seam allowance. And whatever I have, guys, at the hip line, I'm going to reduce it by just 1 inch to form that pencil effect, the pencil skirt effect for this dress. So after connecting my points at the side, guys, this is what I have. And for the back, off camera, I moved in along the waistline by half an inch to eliminate the zipper bulge at the back. I moved in by half an inch and connected to the hip line down here and up to the neckline width to eliminate the zipper bulge. You have to do that. So guys, at this point, I think I'm ready to start cutting. So I start cutting the back neckline depth, and then the shoulder slant, and I cut out the sides as you see, and then the other new armhole curve that we marked out, then the zipper bulge, and then this princess dart for both the front and back, simply like that. At this point, for the middle pieces, I cut out the excess. So now, guys, I have 2 side pieces for the front, 2 side pieces also for the back. So let us put the back away and we finish up cutting the front. So guys, remember here I told you we have to split it up. So I'm going to mark just a 1/4 inch along this neckline depth and connect to the 2.5 inches that we added. You can even mark just half an inch. You can even leave that marking and just slit it up. When you sew it up with the facing, it will form that double cut neckline that we are achieving. So I cut that out, and opening it up, it will look simply like that. So guys, all this time I was marking at the right side of the front piece, but it's well. So now we have to cut out the sleeve. So I have this piece also. Again, I'm going to just fold it into 2 like this. I want to get all my 2 pieces together, the 2 sleeves together. So the top part is for one sleeve and the downer part will be for the other sleeve. So again, after that first fold, I'm going to fold it again like this. So this is what we have. I want to cut both sleeves. So from the top, I'm going to mark 4 inches and connect a line like this, and along that 4-inch line I'm going to mark half of the armhole measurement that we used when we were cutting the dress, which was 8.5 inches, and I added 1 inch also as the sewing allowance, and then connect a diagonal line simply like this, and get also the midpoint of this diagonal line and mark it like this. And from here on top, I'm carving it out and then go down also like that by half an inch. And then the sleeve opening round, I'm working with 6.5 inches plus 1 inch as the sewing allowance, and then connect like this to get my 2 sleeves. So the length of each sleeve is about 11.5 inches, seam allowances included. So now we cut out simply like this. There are many forms of achieving a sleeve, so you can use whatever is easy with you. So I have my 2 sleeves simply like this. They are on fold, each is on fold. So now moving on, guys, I've already cut out the facings for each of my pieces. This is the front facing. It is 3.5 inches in length, and I'm going to place my facing, right side facing the main piece like this, so that I take it to finish up the neckline. I'll sew by 1/2 inch going all around whatever we cut like that. Let me just pin it properly, and also I'll bring the other pieces, place them still right sides facing each other, as you see. And I'll sew from down along that princess dart. I'll sew from down by 1/2 inch and finish it up on either side. So let me pin down also the other part of the front, so by 1/2 inch like that. And that is what I will do at the sewing machine. And also for the back, I'll simply do the same. These are the facings. Remember, we have 2 back pieces, they are separated by that zipper allowance. I'll split this part also up, and now I'm pinning right sides facing each other. My facings, remember the facings are 3.5 inches, and I'll sew by 1/2 inch just along the neckline only, and that will be all. So now I'm also just pinning the other side pieces to sew up that princess dart. Remember, we are sewing starting from down going up to where the princess dart ends. So I'm just going to take these pieces to the sewing machine, sew them up by the allowances that I talked about, and then bring them back. So after here we are, the princess dart allowances of that the dart is finished up, the neckline facings or the necklines also finished up. And guys, I have a little bit an excess here along the armhole that I want to cut out. So let me just align my piece very well so that I cut it out. So this goes off, we don't need it. Thank you for serving us, but it's okay, you can go. So that is what I have. And then bringing my front piece, this is what I have. So you're seeing those lines because before I just marked at the right side of that front piece, but it's well, we will remove them. So even the front facing is finished, and still we have to cut out this excess along the armhole. So let us cut it out simply like this. And we can now align front to back, right sides facing each other, guys. You have to remember that. And I'm going to align my facing to facing, main piece to main piece along the shoulders, and I'll just be sewing by 1/2 inch that we left for the shoulder slant joining allowance. You see, facing to facing, main piece to main piece, and then we'll sew it up. And after that, I'll just bring my finished sleeves. I already hemmed them properly, and I'll fold them into 2 and then notch the midpoint, and I'll place that midpoint along the already finished shoulder, and then join both sides of the sleeve onto the dress, and we'll be moving on like that. So after that, I'll take in the sides by the 1 inch that we left on both sides after attaching the sleeves. And guys, this is what we got. So the sleeves are attached very well, the sides are taken in. I sewed up this part and left about 6 inches for the slit, and the zipper will be here like this at the back. And if you want, you can add pockets. Inseam pockets are so nice for this such for such a dress. And for the hemming, I'll just double fold and run a straight stitch to hem this dress. And the neckline of the front is also finished very well. I just need to go and iron it up. And guys, I think after all this, I'm just going to take back my dress onto the sewing machine, and after all this sewing, we finished the dress. The zipper is attached. It's just a black metallic zipper, and that is how it opens up and closes. And I have a slit of 5 inches after hemming the bottom. The sleeves are also attached very well. It is such a simple dress that you can make within a few hours, and this is how it came about. So beautiful. You can make yours in any size, and I love the outcome. And guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Go on and like this video, go on and share it with other soulmates, and don't forget to subscribe to Yvonne Winifred UG. I love you so much, and I'll be seeing you in any of my other videos.